Hello again, welcome back to another video with Christian Taylor and my attempt to design a full-scale Ferrari from aluminum. This time I will be attempting to make the front bumper of the car, and I'm going to begin now. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make two shapes that form the sides of the bumper towards where the wheels will be, the tires will be. So, the first shape is going to look on the left side of the car. The first shape is going to look like this. I may have to adjust my pen here because it doesn't seem to be really doing me any service. Just a second. And there we go. Now that I've gotten the ink to go, I'm going to attempt it's kind of hard to get this thing to go. Let's try. There we go. So now that I've gotten some ink on the paper, I'm going to make a small little shape, little prism shape, rectangle shape. And then I'm going to slowly arch into an opening. Granted, considering how big the bumper is, because I don't expect it to be a particularly huge piece, I may have to start this all over. But this is just more so just a trial to see where I can just pretty much get a preview of what I'm going to be ultimately putting together. So that's what it's going to look like. And as you can see, this space right here is where the front left tire will be. And then the goal now is to make a perfectly symmetrical duplicate of it on the other side, which I'm attempting to do now. Mind you, I'm using direct observation. Seeing as the ink on this aluminum isn't necessarily set in stone, I can kind of play with the pen, and if I draw a shape that's in a location that I don't particularly like, I can probably just adjust it. But as you can see, so far so good. Right here, I can probably bring the arc a little bit further down and do the same thing for the right side as I'm doing now for the left. Do the same thing for the left side as I did for the right. And you are seeing this in real time, so you get to see all the flaws and all the chinks. Right off the bat, I can see there's a difference in size from the left to the right. The left side is much bigger, but I can always cut a little bit off of that to make it fit the size of the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these out right now. As soon as I find my scissors, if I can locate them. Let's see. And here we are. All right, so now I'm going to cut out the right portion. Actually, I think this is more of a you got it on the first try type of thing, because it does seem like the ideal size that I want for my car. So and how much of the bumper I want cut off, I'll just gauge that moving forward throughout the video and throughout the creative process. So Mind you that I do want this entire, no matter how many videos, no matter how many portions of this project I have to put out per video, I want the audience to know that this is based off of a Ferrari 458 or any versions of the 458 Italia. So as you can see, this is where the left front tire will be. This is the side view of where you will see a rectangle shape be the connector between this right piece and that other left piece that's still attached to the foil. And then on this top part where this arch is, that's where the trunk area will be. And you can see you can probably get an imagination of what the front of the car will look like. So I'm going to put that right there to the side. So you can see it's made out of an aluminum can, all the more. But now I'm going to move over to this, and then I'll compare and I'll contrast, and depending on how they vary, I'll modify this one to see if I can get it as close to the one on the right as I possibly can. So now I'm going to cut this out. I'll probably, for direct observation, I'll probably say not bad. So as you can see here, what I'm going to do is not only am I going to cut out the portion, is what I mentioned before, when I can kind of play with it to see if I need to modify. This is what I mean. So if I don't like what I see, I can cut this top portion out right here, this top arch. Right off the bat, I think I already know that I'm going to have to cut it off because I probably want it to be right here so it can match the one on the right. So, but just to give you a better view and a better understanding, I'm going to cut out both arches. Okay, almost there. Just to give you a view of my little delicate cutting process, what I'm doing is I'm starting here. Of course, I'm using my own eyesight. Then I'll use the cameras to show you how delicate I'm cutting along the lines and the edges of this bumper to make sure I don't cut anything that I still want attached off. And I'm just going slowly, bit by bit, bit by bit. And then I slowly make my way to the lower base of this bumper. We'll kind of move the scissors down and slowly cut along that line. Nice and easy. Nice and simple. Kind of gets tricky towards the end because that's where the least amount of aluminum is, but just like that. And now, see if I can give you guys a visual. That little portion right there is what I want to target a cutoff. So simply put your scissors there. Move it probably just an inch. And cut. Just like that. Now I can compare it. Kind of. Cut a little bit more off. All right. And I think for anyone who's watching, I think you already know that I need to go ahead and cut this little arch off. But let's get the other one and compare and contrast. So obviously that's not what I'm looking for. There we go. So let's compare and contrast the pieces. Not too shabby. Obviously, the one on the left is a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. So what I'm going to have to do is not only am I going to have to cut that arch off, but I'm going to have to trim the outer lining here to get it as a little bit further to the interior of this shape as much as possible in order for it to, but right off the bat, you can kind of see a significant difference